Today in class, we ran a simulation. We recorded data in a data table on Google Docs. In the same document, it asks us to create a graph of that data. So a lot of kids today have asked me, how do I make a graph on Google Docs? So I'm going to show you today how to do that. So first of all, I'm going to select from this data table the information that I want to include in my graph. So I'm going to click and drag to include all the information I want. So then I can copy paste, so edit, copy, and I'm going to go to a Google spreadsheet because I think spreadsheets are a lot easier to work with when it comes to graphing. So I'm going to do Control Paste or Control V. So here's the data I want. Now I'm going to make a couple changes to this before I get going. First of all, I don't need this column here, the percentages. It kind of seems irrelevant right now. So I'm going to go up to the top of column G to the pull down menu, and I'm going to select delete column. So now this is more relevant. The 10 became 8, or it became 7 or 7. I made those numbers up, by the way. They're not the simulation numbers that we got in class today. That's okay. Now, number of bacteria, I want to change these to what's going to be on my graph. So on the graph, I want trial 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to write in trial 1, trial 2, trial 3. And then over here, number of bacteria, let's change this to times 0. The column originally had said number at the beginning of the simulation. Okay, so I think this will work for us. This is what we're going to do now. So let's select the information that we want to graph. Up here on your toolbar, you have an insert chart. So I can insert the chart, and it created a line graph for us. So something's not quite right because we had to work with the data table the way it was provided us in the document. So we know we want times 0 and our trials to be at the bottom, and we want these colors to represent our individual pieces of data. So over here at the chart editor under setup, go down and switch rows and columns. So that was the X and the Y on our data table. So this looks a little bit more correct, right? So the letters or the colors represent each of those individual lines. That's what we want. Trial 1, 2, 3. That's as we progressed. Good. And then this was the number of bacteria. So all of that is good. This was not a continuous data collection, right? These were separate trials, so you're kind of comparing dissimilar things. So I should probably change this and not use a line graph. So again, over setup here, I'm going to choose a bar graph. That seems more relatable. This switched us again, didn't it? So let's go back down here and switch rows and columns. Okay, that's what I want. Everybody starts out at times 0 with 10. And at the first trial, we can see how the change in purple has occurred. Green, brown, and red. And we can mess with that and change it if we want to make it correct. This is trial 2, trial 3. So there's ways we can edit our graph over here under customize. Like maybe I don't want my title to be trial 0, 1, 2, 3. That seems like a silly title. So under chart and access titles, I can change my chart title to whatever I want it to be. This was antibiotics effect on bacteria. So now our title looks good. We have the proper scale that we need to work with. We've separated our trials, and each of our series is labeled within the trial. So the only thing we have left to do is take our chart and put it into our Google Doc. So when I select my chart, I get my 3 dots right here. It's what I can do with my chart, and I want to copy chart. Then I'm going to go back to my Word document that I was working with, and where it asks for my graph, I will just edit paste, Control V, And I will paste my chart right there. So now I have a graph on the same document as my data table. So it's not too hard. I hope that was helpful. Good luck.